release tension. So I recommend doing the other one first and then follow with this, because the other one's going to warm your spine up even more. So please do this one second. And as I said in the last video, always do what is comfortable. Some of these movements may or may not be comfortable for you, so you can always skip everything or make a little smaller range of motion. So we're going to start with the foam roller right across the middle of the back. So maybe right along the bottom edge of your shoulder blades. So you're kind of leaning your weight on your shoulder blades and not your spine. Your knees are bent, your abs are tight, your hands are going to go behind your head just to support your head, so I don't want you to pull. Just let your head rest back. And we're going to move from here. So the shoulders and the chest are going to go back and forward. So I'm just putting one hand here so you can see where the movement is happening, but you're going to keep both hands behind your head to support. So you can see down here in the lower back, I'm not moving very much. My hips aren't moving. Just up here in the chest. So we're going to inhale and go back and exhale and go forward. And we're not moving our head too much. The head just moves when the shoulders move. So I don't want you to hang your head back. Just leave it up a little bit and move your chest and your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. So we're getting that little bit of massage in the upper back, which follows really well after the other session we did where the foam roller was lengthwise under the spine. So just a little upper back extension and coming forward. Yeah. So we get a little bit of stretch through here. Now if you want to, you can send your arms back, which will stretch your chest a little bit more, but you have to be comfortable and your neck has to be comfortable and strong enough. So it's not going to be good. This one's not going to be great for everybody. And if you ever need a little more repetitions than I'm doing here, just pause the video. Keep going, and then put it back on when you're ready. All right, so now we're gonna go, you can see those last couple ones, I really got my whole spine into it. So at first it was just up here, now I'm moving the hips forward, still abs tight, so I'm getting that full extension and then a little bit of flexion. So I'm extending and arching and then coming back to neutral. Okay, so this next one's a little trickier for me to explain on a video, but I'm gonna do my best. So we're going to curl the body up a little bit. Make sure you're in a comfortable place so the foam roller is not rolling away from you. Then you're going to twist your body. Okay, so twist it towards me, right? And now you're going to arch back and forward. So what it should feel like is the foam roller is kind of going diagonally between your shoulder blades. All right, so my left shoulder is rotated towards you, and then I'm bending back and forth on my right. Okay, so maybe you'll see it a little better going the other way. So again, curl forward, twist to the other side, and then go backward and forward. So again, the foam roller is right between the shoulder blades, so my right one is not touching. And then when you come up, rotate yourself back to the center. Now we're going to lift the hips up, we're going to reach the arms forward, and we're going to roll the foam roller farther down the back, and then we're going to extend and stretch the arms back. So we're going to curl up. So now my hips are curling under me, and then arms are going back. So as I curl my head, neck, and chest up, curl the hips under. Getting a little movement through this lower spine. Curl and back. Now with this position, you have to readjust the foam roller all the time because it kind of rolls out of the way a little bit. Okay, that was actually the last one with that. So now we're going to take the foam roller out from underneath us, put it under your bent legs, and then roll back. And then just lift your hips up and pull the foam roller right up under your glutes. So you don't want to be in the low back. There's like a flat bone right between your glutes. That's called your sacrum. So the weight of the hips is on the glutes and the sacrum. It's a very safe place. Again, low back is much more sensitive, so we don't want the foam roller there. So your hands can go on top of the foam roller or out to the sides. I like to hold the sides because it gives me a little more stretch here through the chest. And then with the abs tight, pull one leg up and then the other leg up to 90 degrees. So I don't want you to drop and I don't want you to arch. Okay, so I want you to keep your spine in its normal straight position and then just straighten your legs and lower. Okay, so looking up at the ceiling. So as we're doing this, Once you watch me to see what you're doing, and then once you figure it out and you know what to do, then look back up to the ceiling. So we're just straightening and bending the legs, getting a little stretch in your hamstrings. Try not to let your knees fall towards you. Knees stay in a straight line over the hips. Now once the legs are straight, you're gonna let one leg scissor down and then switch, switch. So we're tightening our core to keep the hips and the ribs still, and we're just moving the legs. Okay, so this stretches the front and back of the legs, and it's core control, and you're breathing. Don't ever hold your breath. Breathe how you want, and when you want to inhale, when you want to exhale, but make sure you're breathing. Now bring both legs up, and one leg out, one leg in, and switch, 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 switch. So you're going to notice that this particular session has a lot more core activation and core control than the last one did. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now both legs. Now if you need a break, take a break. Stretch both legs and bring them in. And make sure that as you're stretching your legs, be mindful that your lower back doesn't arch. If that's happening, you're going too far for your core control. So stretch. I like to exhale as the legs go out. And one more. Good. Put one foot down and the other foot down. Reposition yourself on the foam roller and then bring your legs back up. Now we're going to do a little muscle rolling for this, the glute, the main glute, the medial glute, a little bit of the piriformis, the outer thigh. So we're going to keep our knees glued together and our feet and our inner thighs glued together. And we're going to twist, just roll onto the hip a little bit and then roll to the other side. So this could be uncomfortable. If it is, then you're going to do smaller. All right? If you're rolling properly over the muscle, it should be fine. If you're too much on bone, it's going to be uncomfortable. So try to stay off the bone, the bony parts that stick out more, that don't have as much flesh covering them. And again, you might have to readjust because now I want you to go a little bigger. Keep those knees stuck together. So as you're rotating, lift the hip to send the legs. Come back to the center, lift the hip to send the leg. Now go all the way over, if you can, till the thigh is laying on the foam roller. Now just put the bottom foot on the floor. Don't straighten it, just put it on the floor. Now we're going to stretch this leg out straight. Hey, how do you like my sock? Point, flex. So see, my foot is in line with the hip. It's not up, it's not down, just in a straight line. Flex and point. And the other arm is still back on the foam roller. The abs are still wrapped. You're going to feel a little bit of a stretch here in the side of the hip. If you're feeling a lot of stretch in the low back or tension there, you need to come out of this twist. All right, now bend the knees back together and rotate to the other side. So roll onto that thigh, put the back foot just down, or the bottom foot just down to support yourself. Flex and straighten that top leg, and then point, flex. So you can see the spinal rotation here. You can see how my back arm is supporting, and the stretch is more along the top. Again, not a lot going on tight, tight, tight here in the low back. Point and flex, and point and flex. And then bend the knees back on top of each other. Roll onto your back again, making sure you're right between the glutes. And now we're going to do a little curl of the abdomen. So my abs are curling in, my hips are curling, and that's what's creating leg movement. You don't want to just bring your knees to your chest because that's just going to flop your lower back. So you want to feel like you're lengthening to curl. Think of scooping seeds out of a melon. So curl your abdomen in and try to keep the legs themselves steady and just tucking. Think of tucking your tailbone up to your knees. And curl. And one more time. Exhaling here is a good time to curl. Good. And then bring it back in. Good. All right, so we're going to lift the legs up off, or the hips up. We're going to bring the foam roller back down. Let your body settle back in. It should feel more released. The lower back should feel like it's relaxing more. You're not pushing it, but just letting it relax a little bit more. And then you can bring your feet on top of the foam roller. We're gonna do that curl of the hips we were just doing, but we're gonna keep going and we're gonna lift into a little bit of a bridge. This is a lot of work on your hamstrings and your calves. So if your hamstrings cramp up or your calves, open your knees a little bit and then curl up from there, and then you'll get more help in the side of the hips. And then if that doesn't help, just put your feet on the floor and do it from there. So our idea is to move our spine. So if I put my arms behind, so you can see, you can keep your arms down here to support you. I'm gonna put my arms back here so you can actually see my spine moving, section by section. So you can see the abdominals are controlling the spine. And then when I come down, I sink from my chest, one bone at a time. And one more time, I curl and reach, and then sink down. So getting that spine moving, resetting it, and getting rid of some of that tension. Good. And then we're gonna bring our arms down, roll on over, and sit up. Okay, take your foam roller, last thing in this session. You're gonna put it behind you and you're gonna lay your neck on it, or your head really. So I'm placing the back of my head on the foam roller, I think you can see. So it's not really heavily weighted into my neck. My neck bones aren't pushing into it. It's right here, can you see? Right under the back of my skull. And then you're gonna lift, straighten it out. Gotta make it so it can move. Lift your chin a little bit. Pause for a second. There we go, it's bumping into the wall. Let's try that again. So as I lift my chin, the foam roller is gonna come towards me, and then I'm gonna push it away. So even though the chin is moving up and down, I'm focusing here on the back of my head. So I'm pressing the back of the skull gently into the foam roller and gently away. So you should keep your arms down at your sides so you can push some of your body weight into your arms so that it's not all on the back of the head. But there's these little muscles up there that need to have a massage. And if you've never done this before, this could be quite sensitive. So please stop if you need to. Now you're gonna go side to side like you're saying no, and the tiniest little move of the head, right? So I'm not even gonna turn enough to see the camera, just a little side and a little side to side. Yep, and then back to the center and relax. So again, if you need a little more of that or a little less, you can change how much you're doing that. There's really not a magic number. The next one we're gonna roll to the side. And again, you need to be really cautious of this one. So leave the foam roller away from you for a second. Kind of tuck your shoulder underneath you and lean your weight on your shoulder. Try not to just droop the body. So take this hip and push it away. Tighten your core. All those good Pilates principles. So my weight is on my shoulder, and then I'm going to bring the foam roller in, and I'm just going to lay my head very gently down. So I don't want to release this shoulder because then all the weight's going to go on the neck, right? And I want to be really light here. So again, I'm not leaning on my neck. I'm leaning on my shoulder. And then you're going to turn to look up, and you're going to turn to look forward, or maybe even down. So you got to get your chin kind of on the other side. So turn, turn. Now if you want a little more sense of massage, you can release your weight a little bit onto it. But again, support with the shoulder. If you have sensitive shoulders, this may not be a good one for you. And that's fine. You can go onto your back again. Do the other one. So just turn and turn. And now you're going to nod your chin down and up. And you'll find a spot in there that feels really good, and that's where you want to stay. Okay, let's try that on the other side. So lift your head, take the foam roller out. Roll over and support your weight with your shoulder first. Find good alignment, good core control, and then just gently lay the head down, keeping your weight on your shoulder, and then turn. So just enough weight of the head to get a little massage, but bulk of the weight is in the arm and the shoulder and the hips. So turn and then tilt. So don't be surprised if the two sides feel different, because you probably have more tension in one side of your neck